Waiting.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Looking for Gold Scrims Summer 2022 tournament. Today, we're going to have Warrior Cats versus MSU Texas. For maps, the teams are deciding between Nepal and Ilios. I believe through caster leaks, we're going to Nepal. Both these teams played Nepal in their first sets and struggled a bit, but that is okay. So it's interesting to see which team is going to be able to come out on top here. A lot of the different maps in Nepal allow for a lot of different comps. You see a lot of teams run for things like ball comp or brawl. And so we're interested to see what we're going to see on the different maps.
For introductions, I am your play-by-play caster, EM, and I'll be here walking you through the team fights and seeing exactly what happens in those huge plays, and alongside my other caster, who can introduce himself.
Hello, I am Keegs. I'm the color caster, going over the in-between fights, the sickest plays, and any macro calls these teams will likely end up making.
Now, Keegan, going into this, who do you think is going to win? Who are your predictions for this set?
It's pretty tough to call that, to be honest. Both these teams had a pretty interesting week one. I think I might have to lean slightly on Warrior Cat's side. They took a map and then drew another one against a very strong Topaz Titans. But MSU looked very solid against 07 Titanium as well. So it's pretty tough to call and very interesting to see who comes out on top here today.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I think MSU Texas is really going to pull through on this one, and this is their set. You know, after watching them going against 07 Titanium, I saw a lot of, potential. And I think that if they hone that through this set right here, and they'll come up on top as absolutely the prominent team.
100%. Okay. I believe we will be going into map pretty soon, as last few people end up joining the lobby. We're going to be... What? I think Warrior Cats ran some pretty basic compositions, like standard stuff, I believe, from the stuff I've seen from them. But MSU's gone for some more comfort picks, I believe, which is a little interesting, because we're going to have to see Warrior Cats have to figure out how to play into these new compositions that they've likely have never seen before. And it's going to give MSU kind of an advantage in that sense. It may be a little bit more difficult for MSU to find a solid win condition with them, but I've seen them play their stuff, and it looks scary, to be honest. So we'll see if Warrior Cats can figure out a way around that.
And we're going into the map. No?
Yeah, we are loading the map, Nepal. First map, Nepal Shrine. So typically on a Nepal Shrine map, you'll see things like a rush comp or a ball comp. Those are the standard stuff. Some teams do choose to opt for like a dive composition here, but that's pretty rare nowadays.
I'm very excited to see what these teams go. Personally, I'd go a brawl comp, but there's a lot of versatility on this map, like you said.
It's very open. Teams looking to take control of point in the middle, just an advantageous location, has a good amount of walls to just not get poked out. You can see other teams opt to take control of places like Elephant or High Ground, just for an attempt to poke into the main area with some poke compositions. However, we're going to see both teams opt for more of a rush composition. Warrior Cats choosing to go with like a soldier variant. It allows for more poke in their rush. And MSU is going for more of a full rush with a Zarya and a Moira, looking to just run over the enemy team.
I'm excited to see how it goes. Then we started the fight. Reinhardt's both looking at each other. Moiras are using cooldowns. And there comes the first wall from the blue side. Terrible TM with the wall. Misses. And Simplify does not miss. Superfly gets Mega Jacob, and they're down their Zarya now. And they're gonna have to play this. It's a very fast-paced comp, but they won't be able to walk in it without one. And there goes Peyton wins. The Reinhardt, giving them a chance to walk in. Iconwall 2 comes down. Boot and Scoot taking him out. Starcheeks taking out Timus fight. The Lucio and the Sim drop. And so far, MSU loses the first fight, giving control to Warrior Cats.
Warrior Cats opened up with a very good wall in that point, allowing for them to just take control of point immediately. MSU had to pretty much try to regroup very early, and it was kind of forced out. MSU did build up a good amount of ult charge, though. They're going to be able to enter with maybe a sim wall if they charge it up a bit. But it's going to be tough to break through a window or another Mei wall.
Teams are poking each other out, but MSU will have to walk in at some point with their Symmetra and their Moira. Here comes the window from the Warrior Cats, forcing them to split like the Red Sea, and they're on the right side. Their Moira is split and cannot get over there. And the D.Va is poking her out. She gets over, and now the point's been taken to the right side. Here comes out the wall, and a Shatter. Shatter hits none. Superfly waste. Here comes the Blizzard from the Warrior Cats, and a beat. Coalescence gets cancelled, pin, and everyone on the MSU side falls.
A lot of ultimates used by Warrior Cats. MSU used a few themselves, but they have a Shatter coming into this next fight. I'm excited to see Peyton wins get a massive Shatter.
I think if Peyton pulls out and gets a huge Shatter, this could turn the tides.
Okay, Warrior Cat's walking in, or
walking up. Peyton's looking for the Shatter, using all the things. Oh, presses Q and he gets none, and then he gets out shattered. Daylight also presses Q. Superfly swings, and that's a team kill on the side of the Warrior Cats.
Wow, amazing Shatter from Superfly. MSU has to rush back to point in order to touch. All the players trying their absolute best to get there in time.
There's the Mei wall, and they just can't touch in time. In the first round goes to the Warrior Cats.
MSU struggled a bit that round because of the expert ult rotation from Warrior Cats. It was quite impressive, to be honest. Going into Village here, MSU is going to have to figure out how to, get around these ultimates. Might have to make... They're making... Maybe... No, not making comp swaps. They do have one. They have D.Va over Zarya on MSU's side. It seems Warrior Cats are going for the Symmetra over the Soldier. Warrior Cats looking to go super aggro like MSU now. MSU now having the D.Va over the Zarya, allowing for more damage reduction on the engage.
Both teams go for a different idea, with MSU taking the high ground while the Wildcats go and take point. MSU is going to have to play this fast since Wildcats do have this. They see a Soldier and the D.Va goes and takes on the 1v1, but won't be able to catch him out fully. They're trying to set up their turrets while the Reaper goes on a flank, but he doesn't seem to get anything. Holding this high ground now, MSU is going to have to make a play. The D.Va goes on the Soldier. Soldier 1. She can't get him quite. While they go in, the rest of the team goes in for the brawl. Reinhardt gets frozen and goes down. Peyton wins is dead. Daylight also gets picked off by Mega Jacob the D.Va. So this fight is winnable on both sides. It is currently tied. MSU is going to fight and go in. The D.Va gets frozen, demeched, and instantly killed. While the Reinhardt begins to speed in, he gets pushed back. Here's the Symmetra wall. Goes on the Sim. Superfly takes out Lumos, the Symmetra, while the Reinhardt comes right back in. Reinhardt swinging on the Mei, and Calgasm drops to the Reinhardt also. There's the BAP window on the side of the Warrior Cats, which takes out Lucio and Moira on MSU side.
A very chaotic fight. At the beginning of that fight, we saw Mega Jacob do an excellent job at denying the flank from Daylight. However, the just main cores brawling into each other ended in the way of Warrior Cats. MSU now making another engage. No ults to work with, unfortunately, but they should be able to charge them up and make a really solid engage here.
Lucio gets caught out and dies early fight, which is going to be a big problem on the side of MSU. Daylight does fall to Lumos the Cassidy, so this fight is looking a little more winnable.
Warrior Cats do have 4 ultimates here, so this might be a little bit tough. But we see Coalescence coming in.
Peyton gets walled off and killed, while the Coalescence does call a little bit of havoc onto the enemy team. There's a Shatter, hits 2. The beats to counter it, Superfly drops. So does the good part on Lucio. The Reaper ult picking off 2, and then the May ult picking off 3. This fight does seem very even right now, and it's still winnable on both sides. The Cassidy on the backside taking out the Baptiste, but doesn't seem to get anyone. The Reinhardt comes in to try and back him up, and they will probably have to fight this to get to the overtime. But Lumos drops to Daylight, the Soldier 76, but he don't get a touch, and the Ryan pins out, and the map goes to the Warrior Cats on Nepal.
Wow. Warrior Cats looking very strong today. MSU, of course, having some good plays themselves. We almost saw that Blossom end up taking the fight. However, the Blizzard is just too strong. Unfortunate Shatter into a wall.
It was a very good map.
It was a very good map.
What do you think that MSU has to do to take it back?
It's going to be a little difficult, but I believe in MSU. I'm very excited for the comps that they're going to probably bring to this next map. Teams are deciding between, I believe, Eichenwald and Kings Row, the next map. We will likely see MSU go for an Eichenwald pick here. However, they are deciding currently.
Oh, we actually positions. Oh, Kings Row.
I actually see Kings Row. So, actually, interesting. Both of these teams in their first match on Kings Row ended up losing, unfortunately, with a 4-5 scoreline. The same scoreline for both teams. These guys they're looking good at Kings Row. It's unfortunately you lost, but if you're full capping, like it's looking good. You're pretty good at this comp. We're probably going to see a lot more rush comp here. So similar compositions between these two teams. It did end in the way of Warrior Cats. However, Warrior Cats had very strong flanks with the Soldier in Nepal that we just saw. It's a lot harder to get solid flanks here on Kings Row. It's still doable. It's still very possible. You can flank around high ground, but it takes much longer. And it's a lot harder to be able to escape when you try to do a flank. So you might see just more standard 6-on-6, just brawls, fights. And I feel like MSU did pretty decent in those when they did happen. They had solid ultimates with like a Death Blossom we saw at the end. Shatters, unfortunately, didn't really go their way, but Shatter's very iffy and can always turn around mid-sets. And I'm excited to see how MSU is able to play going into Kings Row here.
As a main tank player myself, I always love to watch a good Ryan v Ryan. And I think that Kings Row is the perfect map for it. I'm very excited to see the two Reinhardts on this map. I believe it's Superfly and Peyton Wins, who are both, or sorry, not Superfly. To be honest, I don't know who it is. But Peyton Wins and the other main tank are going to be great Reinhardt 1v1s. And even last map, they both seem to be very leading on their team, and we're always looking for those shatters. And as we go into the map, we can see that Peyton Wins. He was. Peyton Wins, instantly locks the Reinhardt, and probably will happen on the other side. So I'm very excited to see how this brawl matchup goes.
All right. I believe we're going to see MSU here on attack. Rushing into this point can be a little difficult. Breaking through any kind of May wall is a little challenging. And we're going to see how they try to tackle that challenge if Warrior Cats decides to run the May, which they do. Warrior Cats also deciding to go for the Soldier again, probably going to try to make flanks. It's going to be a little difficult for MSU to deny these flanks without the D.Va. But MSU has some interesting... Right now they're hovering Rhino Orisa. Rhino Orisa can be a little interesting. It's a lot of shield health, allowing for very aggressive pushes. But you need to play around the cycle of Orisa's shield. Also, with something like Orisa and Cassidy and Widow, allowing MSU to go for more of a pokey style as well. So maybe this pokey flank from Daylight won't get as much value because MSU is going to be able to poke right back.
I'm interested to see how they play with the lack of Lucio and Baptiste here, which is more of a conventional comp. We instantly see an Orisa pull out, getting no one, and we just look at the kind of the poke here that MSU has to offer. Going around the left side of the statue, there's a wall that gets 3. Swinging onto the Reinhardt, he gets out, and Lumos takes out Terrible Tim on Mei. Instantly killing the Immortality Field, but Peyton Wins also dropping to Superfly. Lumos also gets the good part. In Superfly, the Reinhardt drops, and Lumos and Baptiste fall, and Peyton Wins is instantly resurrected, bringing him back into the fight, and MSU seems to take the first fight of King's Row.
MSU actually played this very well. Their poke style just ended up making Warrior Cats struggle. They got poked out before a solid engage was made, and it made it really tough for them to figure out what to do.
And Daylight instantly drops, but here comes the Shatter from Superfly, getting Cowgasm on Cassidy. MSU seems to be backing up, giving a little bit of space because the Orisa drops, and the Reinhardt looks for something, but they're holding S and hoping to get out with their lives. Peyton Wins dropping into Superfly, and the rest of the team just escapes with their lives as they can. Lumos does drop also, and Eichenwall drops the Coalescence, going in and playing a little bit of aggro, gets flash pinged and an instant headshot and drops. That's a big stagger. And so does Cowgasm, and Mega Jacob also dropping. They're staggering one by one, and if they're going to win this, they're going to have to get back and stack a 6.
Warrior Cats made a very aggressive push with speed there, allowing for them to take first point back. We saw Eichenwall try to flip it back with Coalescence, and unfortunately it didn't quite work.
Stepping back up here, we see the Reinhardt get ready for his Shatter. Peyton Wins. There goes the High Noon, and he holds shield for it. Let's see if we can pick anyone. Gets no one. And there comes the Shatter from Superfly. Getting Lumos, Peyton Wins, Mercy, and Orisa all dropping. And that will be another team fight in favor of Warrior Cats.
Massive Shatter there. Also very good from Warrior Cats. Able to not... Wait, sorry. No. Okay, yeah. Very well from Warrior Cats. Able to not just die to the Noon there. It looked like a very solid Noon from MSU. They do end up swapping to Reaper now, allowing for more aggressive pushes.
There's the window from the Warrior Cats, poking out the MSU team, making it so they have to split and cannot push, which is a big time loss. And Eichenwall gets hit by the Fire Strike by Superfly, who has to get resurrected. It was a very risky res from the MS Fugit.
The res does get off, though. See a Shatter come in.
Hits no one. And here comes a Tire from Lumos. It's gonna go around. There comes the Beat. A little early. Hits the soldier but doesn't kill. And the MSU Texas is gonna have to sit and wait for their team to come back. D.Va comes in very aggressive. And Daylight picks out Lumos on the Junkrats. Here comes Coalescence, allowing them to push up a little bit. There's the High Noon. Gets 2. Peyton Wins and Eichenwall. Reinhardt and Moira. Massive High Noon. Cowgasm also dropping on the Reaper. And they are just hoping to get something for this last fight coming up. Mega Jacob falls on the Orisa. And this may be it for the MSU.
Yes. MSU struggling to play to their win condition. Warrior Cats not allowing MSU to poke them out very easily. And it's just MSU struggling to get out that damage that they really, really want and need.
Big Shatter on the front line, hits Orisa, but the 2 DPS are in the back line. Both drop, one after another. Here comes the window to get the Reaper. There comes the bomb. Pins the Moira. And that will be round 1, going in favor of the Warrior Cats.
Wow. Warrior Cats playing that very well, playing the corners expertly, pretty much without flaws. MSU, though, did have bright spots. The poke looked very solid. Their ult timings were pretty decent at times. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get the value they wanted with all of them. But the Coalescence, attempting to turn the fights, looked pretty close. Like, they were almost about to turn a few times. Unfortunately, not quite there. But the aggression is nice. I like the swaps that MSU is making with the Reaper and the Junkrat. Junkrat allowing for more poke at the beginning. Once they realize the poke wasn't working quite as much as they wanted, they go for a Reaper and try to play a little bit faster. or punish any kind of aggression that Warrior Cats were going for. Fortunately, it didn't quite work.
I see as we go into our attack that he may switch, but Terrible Tim is hovering the Bastion.
Bastion.
Which is a little bit of an unconventional pick in the current state of Overwatch. Oh, he instantly swaps to Echo, so he baited us a little bit, sadly. But Mercy Double Flyer is a very scary comp to go against with the amount of poke it gives. So I'm very interested in seeing how MSU counteracts that, especially with these May walls that are going to have to be very specific on how they come out.
Going for a double bubble as well, allowing Monkey to be a little bit more aggressive at the beginning, but they have to play around the bubble's cooldown.
Brigitte gets slept. Going up on the Pharah. The Pharah instantly drops, which some great shots at Cowgasm. The Monkey jumps into the back line. Gets instantly flashbanged and drops. Superfly dies. There's a big anti from Star Cheeks Diana, which kills Peyton and is going to maybe turn the tide of this fight.
MSU able to stabilize a bit right now alongside Warrior Cats. However, without either team, without their main tank, it's going to be a little tough to make a fight win here.
Lumos and the Miss Fugit drop. So does Cowgasm, Mega Jacob, and Icon Owl. And with that being a very large team fight loss, it looks to me like the Warrior Cats are going to have to win this round of King's Row. Soldier being poked out, but he can't make it there. And there it is. Oh, Reinhardt makes it. And instantly dies. And that will be King's Row on the side of the Warrior Cats.
Warrior Cats came out with a very interesting composition. MSU not really quite able to deal with it. It was kind of a counter comp. There's not too much MSU could really do about that. The poke makes it very hard for MSU to do anything. So very good scouting, I guess, from Warrior Cats, knowing to bring more of these pokey heroes to counter a traditional brawl style like that. It seems poke is looking pretty good on King's Row attack right now, Em.
It does look to be that way. And sadly, MSU wasn't able to use their poke to their full extent with that Orisa on attack. And especially in that first fight, it was looking really well for them. So what do you think that going into these next couple of maps, that MSU really has to do a little bit better or change up a little bit to maybe grasp that reverse sweep?
Well, it's these games a bit maybe one-sided in scoreline, but MSU actually making them pretty close. We saw really good fights on every map, really, from MSU so far. So I definitely see the potential there. MSU maybe just needing to regroup and then ult together as a team a bit. The ultimates that are trying to flip the fights are looking really close, but not quite there, unfortunately. So maybe trying to change up the strategy a bit could work going into these next maps. But yes, next maps, we believe MSU gets to pick between Rialto and Gibraltar. Last time MSU played, they picked Rialto. So we're expecting to see that one. Gibraltar also looking very good from Warrior Cats' side. Fun fact, Warrior Cats are the only team to have won on Gibraltar this tournament so far. So Rialto definitely looking more favorable for MSU, but maybe we see Gibraltar anyways.
If MSU picks Rialto, I'm very excited to see what comps they run. Rialto, in my opinion, is one of the most diverse maps compositionally. You can run a lot of things on there.
You see just about everything. Teams run brawl comps, teams run ball comps, teams run double shield and even dive. It's just about everything. The only thing I haven't really seen is 6-man. But actually, it seems we're going to Gibraltar, I believe.
Interesting is that?
Gibraltar a bit more standard, leaning to dive maps or double bubble sometimes. Dive a little bit more common, but a lot of teams do like running the Zarya. We've seen MSU like to pick Zarya earlier in the set, so maybe we'll see more of a double bubble style like that. We also saw Warrior Cats pick a double bubble composition on King's Row, so maybe we just see a mirror double bubble. Exciting to see how that plays out.
Double bubble is a very fast-paced composition, so I'm very to see how the monkeys play around each other. and how the backlines support each other through it. Going into the map, we can see the beautiful landscapes of Watch Point Gibraltar.
Along with this beautiful, beautiful sunsets.
This map is very high ground centric, so
yes.
I hope that both teams can use that to their advantage.
High ground's definitely very important, and backlines are the secret carry in these dive and double bubble compositions. So the winner is likely going to be the team that has their background in safer positions. We will see which team is able to play around that more. MSU has an interesting composition right now. We have Reinhardt, Roadhog, Torbjorn with a Baptiste, Moira, Doomfist. Okay, they're changing a little bit. They're looking to pick that rush pokey style that we saw in Kings Row, though. That's going to be interesting.
I could potentially have a little bit of a better outcome on this map, which does prefer a little bit more poke. Swapping over to the Sigma, I think that it could be while interesting, a beneficial pick towards their team, especially into the Warrior Cats' dive.
So dive composition wants to jump onto something and blow it up, but with all the anti-dive that MSU has with the Torbjorn and the MO, it might make it pretty difficult to actually go for that win condition. Making Warrior Cats have to lean more towards the Pharah trying to win the game, but if MSU is able to deal with that, it's going to be pretty tough for Warrior Cats to do anything here.
Lumos on Doomfist instantly kills Daylight. Lumos is going to be a very big terror on the enemy team of the Warrior Cats here, allowing him to instantly pick off characters on an off angle. And so far, MSU is just pushing the cart while Lumos goes and does his thing. They go for a dive, Daylight kills the turret, and the Diva Mech automatically drops. The Misfugit also... And Icon Wall also goes down. Terrible Tim already gets a fire barrage and kills 1, 2, 3 that fight.
That was quite a quick barrage. We also saw MSU make a swap to the Monkey, allowing for more control of high grounds, also going on dives with a Doomfist that's actually now swapping to a Cassidy and Symmetra. This is looking like a very interesting composition, maybe playing for Simbeam uptime. Monkey able to go for aggressive dives to try to claim high ground, and the rest kind of just working together to just survive.
They teleport up onto the Soldier, but a big anti-nade came through. Looking at the Diva, with the Diva Mech gets down on Boot and Scoot, and Daylight also drops the Moira. This is looking very even on both sides. Primal come out, and he jumps back up. Looking onto the Diva gets remech, and Misfugit drops. Lumos on Cass also gets pushed off the map by Superfly, and they're going to have to retreat. MSU has lost another team fight. With the Monkey jumping in, though, and the Coalescence coming in, they actually might turn the tides. Looking at the Ana, the Mercy, the supports, here comes the Teleporter. Oh, but it gets broken before anyone can come through.
A very good Coalescence to punish that dive there. MSU now having momentum going into the rest of this point.
Here comes the Primal onto the Ana Star Cheeks. And there comes the Valkyrie on Mercy. Pharah pushing through, but Lumos kills Daylight. Here comes the Nano on the Monkey, killing the Misfugit on Bap, killing Iconol on Moira, and just destroying the enemy backline. Peyton wins, also dropping to the Diva, and here comes the Diva Mech. Bomb to the Remech, and MSU loses their next fight. That was a large Nano onto the Monkey.
Very strong Nano onto Superfly, able to turn that fight back. This point is getting pretty close to capped. It's looking pretty good for MSU going into the rest of this. There's not too much more they have to get. With the Warrior Cats having Barrage coming up, we'll see what MSU is able to do about that.
Already dropping 1. 2, Terrible Tim is going on a rampage with the Mercy on their side. 3 from the Fire Barrage. Can he get the next? That is a team kill from Terrible Tim, killing 6 people.
What a Pharah play. It seems MSU's trying to make swaps, deal with that. Now on double hit scan, them realizing this Pharah is really a problem here. MSU does have a few ults though to try to push into this point.
With the Sigma ult and the Baptiste ult coming in, the poke pressure is going to be insane. And as they walk onto the cart, already popping Immortality and the Monkey diving in, Lumos already gets dropped, and so does the Misfugit, but Superfly does get punished on the dive, being able to be turned around. Looking at this Diva, But Cowgasm on the Krieg gets instantly dropped, and so does Mega Jacob as soon as he comes out of spawn.
The back cap!
The back cap! And he gets it!
MSU! Wow!
Icon Owl getting the back cap on the Moira. It is a massive play, giving their team more time and more ability to push this point, making the ability to win much easier.
Warrior Cats now backing up to regroup on seconds. MSU, nice capture there. Now able to push into second. They didn't even have to commit any ultimates to cap this point here. Now having a good amount. Unfortunately, Warrior Cats with almost 6 ultimates going into this next defense. We'll see how they use those ultimates to secure this point.
Superfly into the backline of MSU, terrorizing the Baptiste and the Moira, and the front line just is getting no heals and instantly drops, while Cowgasm can get the good part on Mercy. It seems as if MSU is crumbling through the split that they had to make.
Both teams using Primal this fight. A lot of monkey chaos going on. Only one ultimate used from Warrior Cats there. They still have 5 more. We do have Noon and Flux from MSU. Both of those ults are very large impact, but it's going to be hard to break through 5 with just 2. So we'll see how this ends up going.
Team MSU is scrambling to try and get a dive in, but they are getting poked out big time by the soldier in the Pharah. There comes the Sigma onto the point, but Terrible Tim instantly getting Cowgasm with the barrage. And there goes Monkey onto the Mercy, but isn't able to get anything, while Terrible Tim and Superfly clean up.
Peyton Wins had a very good eat on the barrage there, only allowing barrage to get 1. Unfortunately, not quite enough. We are going to see a swap from MSU to the Reaper, punishing this Pharah when she gets a bit closer, or punishing the Monkey when he jumps in as well. MSU still having 2 ults to use, building up this Coalescence as well, able to make maybe a strong engage with these 3 ultimates. Warrior Cat still has 4, maybe a Nano Visor this fight.
Terrible Tim is sitting on the high ground, and Mega Jacob goes up to try and contest him, but he simply just gets out-poked, while Superfly takes out Cowgasm. And the poke just seems to be too strong for MSU. And sadly, they just can't get in.
Warrior Cats are cycling their ultimates incredibly well. It makes MSU's life very difficult trying to break through these tight choke points to get in the second point. There's a Visor.
Cowgasm having to get out. The Visor comes through, and no one is able to touch the point. Round 1 being complete, and MSU was unable to cap second point.
Warrior Cats had very impressive ultimates there. Ulting first makes it pretty difficult for MSU to be able to get in. It's tough. MSU doesn't really have many options there. Like, maybe you can use a Coalescence to try to break in through one of these chokes, but if you're being held at this point in Gibraltar, it's tough to get through. These chokes are so small, and if you have this many ultimates, it's just, there's not much MSU can do, really. But we've seen a lot of teams through Overwatch's lifespan get held on Gibraltar first. So this game is super, super winnable for MSU, and this reverse sweep can certainly start right now.
I'm still in the MSU hype train. I personally think it's very, very doable on their side. Already locking in a dive composition on their side, opting to go for the Pharmacy.
Both teams actually having Pharmacy locked right now. It's going to be an interesting duel between Pharahs. It's going to be interesting to see if the Pharahs decide to duel each other or decide to look at the rest of the enemy team to try to get more value that way. Both strategies have their upsides. Like, deleting the Pharah is very nice because then your team doesn't have to worry about it, but it might take a while to do that. So maybe just looking at the enemy team might end up getting more value, but it's risky because then you can get punished harder. So we'll see how these Pharahs opt to play the Pharah duel.
Both teams having the exact same compositions. Lumos and Daylight are going to be also in a bit of a soldier duel. And the Monkey already taking the top right. They're brawling into this room, and Superfly on Monkey already drops. Terrible Tim trying to poke into the room, doesn't seem to get anything. And Cowgasm is also just poking as much as they can, already being in a bit of a lead on the ult charge. taking the top left, again, comes Superfly, and Lumos drops a terrible Tim, goes down the Soldier, already down 1. Let's see how MSU can take this back around. The D.Va goes in, takes out Cowgasm. That's 2 down for MSU. Cowgasm's a bit confused, and Eichenwald and Peyton Wins also drop down. And it seems like the first fight is going to go out to the Warrior Cats.
Boot Scoot with expert D.Va play, getting so many picks here this fight. It's very, very impressive. Just denying so much from MSU. They're not able to get the value they really want on these heroes like Switch.
Lumos swaps over to the cast, tries to deny the D.Va a little bit more, and successfully gets her out of mech. Peyton Wins does drop to Boot and Scoot on the D.Va though, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to touch, allowing the Warrior Cats to capture first point. Drops Mega Jacob's mech, giving them a little bit more room to push on the side of Warrior Cats. And the Mercy Bot comes out, trying to keep up that far alive. Daylight drops to Cowgasm, but so does Lumos to Superfly. Jumps to Superfly to go on that Mercy. The Mercy's trying to get the cart slower. Gets slept and may drop the hook onto the Boot and Scoop. Kills them. The Miss Fusion on Mercy does drop to Star Cheeks. Terrible Tim kills Peyton Wins. And here comes the barrage from Cowgasm. Superfly kills Chasm, and here comes the Visor. And it looks like no one is there to contest the point. And the Warrior Cats take map 3.
So many ults. What a fight. Warrior Cats had some unrelenting pressure there and not allowing MSU to get a very good just stabilize or regroup at all. And it's just kind of a snowball a bit. Pretty tough win this fight. This is the crazy barrage we saw from Terrible Tim.
Massive play on Terrible Tim's side. Terrible Tim just seemed to be always poking out, having barrage every single fight. And MSU is just having such a hard time to fight back.
So going to this next map, I believe the choice is between Eichenwald and Rialto. Getting to choose between 2 different map types can be a little interesting. I believe most teams are opting for a hybrid map as map 5. But with Rialto as an option, we might see something a little different this set. MSU getting that map pick. We'll see which way they go.
Hopefully with this last map pick, they'll have a little bit more comfortability than the Warrior Cats here. And while sadly, MSU did not win the set fully, I hope that they won't get completely swept and we'll take this last map.
100%.
Looking to take a halftime break, though we may have a little bit of time on our hands.
That's excellent. Going into the 2 different map choices, though, they allow for very different picks. Rialto having incredibly open maps. Just like allowing for any kind of double shield or ball comp or dive. Icon being a little more closed off, allowing for rush comp, but I don't know. We will see.
And while we look at these maps and MSU Texas looks to decide, we will go into a 5-minute halftime break, and we will see you after the break. And welcome back to our Overwatch Looking for Gold tourney. We're going into the last map of the Warrior Cats versus MSU Texas. And they're still making a decision on the map they want to pick, but looks like everyone's back and we're going to be going in pretty soon.
Yeah, they did end up picking Rialto. Interesting to see what these two teams play. I think we're probably going to expect to see some kind of double shield poke composition on defense, and probably some kind of more dive-oriented, maybe Monkey Zarya comp on attack. But these teams have been surprising us a bit with some of their picks, so we'll see what they really end up going.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another Pharah pick from either side.
Pharah has been a very good pick for both teams, actually, on Gibraltar. Excited to see if anything like that comes back. We also saw Echo earlier this set, I believe, on Nepal. No, it was actually Kings Row, I think. Echo also very strong flyer, allowing for poke in both a poke like double shield comp and dive as well. So we might see Echo as well.
5 seconds, and we're going to see what compositions the teams will be going for. First of all, looking over at the side of the Warrior Cats, Orisa, Mercy, Pharah, Soldier, Baptiste. Looking for another Pharah Mercy composition here, which again is not a big surprise. While on the side of MSU, something different is brewing.
So I was right. Warrior Cats are going to be opting for a double shield composition here. It's very strong at holding these very long sightlines on Rialto, and so we're probably going to see Warrior Cats look to set up on high ground and hold some of these very long sightlines. Sigma's also pretty good at taking off angles, allowing for some extra pressure. MSU, though, having an interesting kind of rush poke mix composition. And so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Hog with the hook around these bridges is very strong. Looking into these pits will just kill opponents. So,
and speaking of, both supports fall to Terrible Tim on the side of MSU. Now they will have to avoid this poke as much as they can. Looking at Peyton Wins also dropping, and Mega Jacob getting walked on. So Reinhardt, Calgasm having to wraith out, but it's just going to fall into the pit to reset.
MSU recognizing this far as a problem, swaps to Ash to try to deal with it. This long-range hit scan able to poke out the Mercy and the Pharah should allow for more open areas for the rest of the comp.
Looks like the teams are going to be taking a right side approach, seeing to close the gap between the brawl and that large poke. The Pharah misses her boop, so no one else is going to be falling into the pit today. And the Hog and Reinhardt walk up, trying to get onto the Orisa. Swinging onto the Orisa, we can see that Mega Jacob goes in. Here comes a Pharah barrage. Does get nobody. Calgasm and Peyton Win do drop, but this looks very winnable. Here comes the pin of the Ryan getting Superfly, the Sigma. When he drops, and so does Lumos on Widowmaker and the Misfugit. Icon Wall, all dropping on the side of MSU.
Lumos did try to take a very big off angle there, allowing for some easy picks. Unfortunately got shut down by Daylight, so nice job, Daylight. The rest of the team trying to push in, still getting punished by this Pharah. This Terrible Tim is just, he's crazy, man. He's really good.
Does not live up to the name. He's a pretty amazing Tim, if you ask me. And he's getting ult after ult, poke out of poke, and seems to be controlling the lobby here.
Oh, huge pull from Boot and Scoot, taking out the Hog there.
Peyton Wins, just could not escape the pull. Here comes the Coalescence to try and turn things around. But Superfly does take out Calgasm, and unfortunately, MSU doesn't look like they'll be able to do too much here.
You did see a big Cole there, opening up a lot of space, but unfortunately not able to get the team quite into where they want to be. So team is still getting poked out. There's another barrage.
Terrible Tim taking out Mega Jacob. Lumos. Eigenwall also drops. Going on to the Hog. Falls. And Reaper goes in for a play with the Blossom. Forces out Immortality Field. And to take out the Pharah. But doesn't get enough.
Is the res going to come out? I don't think they have... Oh, they do have res for the Pharah.
The res in the Pharah is very big.
MSU now with 2 hit scans to try to deal with this Pharah.
But it wasn't enough. Peyton wins and Mega Jacob instantly drop, and here comes the Sigma ult, taking out another. Oh, but Daylight in the good part also drop, allowing it so MSU may be able to come back fast and take another fight.
This poke from Warrior Cats is very impressive.
They are very dominant in it, and they're not allowing MSU to go anywhere.
Taking good space, creating good off angles with the Pharah. It's hard for MSU to deal with this, really. Another window comes out down main, punishing the Reinhardt and the Orisa.
Taking out both tanks, poking out the rest of the team, and it looks like they just have nothing to do. The Cassie walks up, but gets punished and also takes out the Baptiste with him. The Soldier comes out right after Terrible Tim drops and takes out the rest of the team.
MSU's been making very good counter swaps here, but with all the swaps, they're struggling to build ults, and without ults, it's tough to take space, really, here.
Looks like the team's playing some mystery heroes, but unfortunately, Lumos will drop right after touching the point. So there's a big shatter taking out both tanks. It's the Sig, but he doesn't be able to kill with the Immortality Field. Terrible Tim poking out everybody. Moira, Reinhardt alike, and MSU is just unable to touch the point. Finishing out the round, going only about halfway through point 1 of Rialto.
0-0. Switching sides.
MSU has the right ideas with some of these swaps, but they seem a bit panicked in these swap making. It's making it tough. They do have potential, though. I can see they have very smart plays in their heads. They just have to find a way to execute them the way they plan. Warrior Cats making that very difficult. The double shield is quite difficult. Double shield can still work here in attack. It's very strong, but it's a lot more difficult to execute. So we will see if Warrior Cats still goes for this double shield style. If not, I think MSU can still do well here.
Ready for battle.
Ooh.
A ball composition.
So let's talk about MSU first. They do want to mirror with a double shield again. We just saw the strength of double shield. We do see some interesting picks in it, though, like the Mei punishing any kind of dive that they might be expecting. A dive is a pretty common attack comp on this map, so I would not be surprised to see a dive comp. They wouldn't be surprised, at least, to see a dive comp from Warrior Cats. Warrior Cats going with something kind of like that. They have a ball, they have a Genji. Mei can do pretty well against these heroes. But might struggle against the Zen, Soldier, or Hog that's actually being brought out here by Warrior Cats. And so we'll see how these come into play.
In the cart, we instantly see Superfly and Terrible Tim looking for the dive. There comes Superfly with the pile drive, getting nobody, having to be forced out of high ground. There goes the Genji going straight in. Doesn't get punished, but does go down. The ball going back up to the high ground, poking out. There gets frozen and pulled, and instantly gets dropped by Mega Jacob. Superfly is out of the fight. Here comes the Genji on high ground also. But the Torbjorn's trying to take care of him, but Mega Jacob drops the Star Cheeks. Boot and Scoot gets frozen, but nothing goes out of it. Icon Wall and Bap also drops on the side of MSU. And MSU is down. Lumos drops also. It's going to take a miracle for them to take the scraps of this fight, but they just can't seem to do it. And there it is. Warrior Cats are your winners of today's set.
Very good set between Warrior Cats and MSU Texas today. Definitely bright spots on both teams here. Warrior Cats are a bit brighter, though.
Here comes Terrible Tim on the far ult.
Expert Pharah play today.
Oh. I'm going to be honest with you, Keegs. If there's anyone who's taking my player of the match, it's got to be Terrible Tim.
As far as crazy. You know, again, can I say best Pharah in the tournament? Am I allowed to say that?
That's a take.
That is a take.
Let's see, as the future goes on, let's see if that will stay true or your opinion will fall flat.
His name is Terrible Tim. It's terrible because it's an awful sight for the enemies to see. They don't like seeing his Pharah. It's terrifying, to be honest.
And while MSU did not take the W today, I'm very excited to see how they go in the future. It'll only take a little bit of improvement for them to be able to turn the tides against the enemy teams in these future sets. And I hope that they can come back and do a little bit better.
Well, that's going to be the end of today's cast, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for watching the Looking for Gold 2022 tournaments. This is M and my
And
co-caster
Keegs.
Keegan. Thanking you for watching and signing off. Have a good day, everyone.
Goodbye.